First there's a layer of ladyfingers, then a layer of jam, then custard, which I made from scratch. Then raspberries, more ladyfingers, then beef sauteed with peas and onions, more custard, and then bananas, and then I just put some whipped cream on top.
Je sais pas. Bah, t'as qu'à faire la voix de Ross.
All done. So good. Maybe Chandler has some left. It tastes like feet. I like it. Are you kidding? What's not to like? Custard, good. Jam, good. Meat, good.
Well, today we're going to show you how to build a trifle.
I'm not sure to follow you, Laetitia. Honestly, what are you talking about exactly?
What if we were comparing an organization to a trifle?
Ah, interesting. But no, this is really not clear for me.
Well, isn't an organization kind of a combination of the right ingredients that you have to put at the right moment to satisfy the client taste?
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean. Maybe what you want to express today, to explain to this assembly, is how Rachel could maybe better build that trifle. And finally, if I really follow you, it's how she could build that like an organization. I mean, the trifle is the equivalent of an organization, right?
Exactly.
Okay, but where is the place of the DevOps there? This is a big question, I think, that we will have to answer all together. So, what I propose you is to take that trifle, okay, first, and try to see layer after layer what the organization is, right?
Okay, so let's build the trifle together. The first layer, the sponge cake.
Okay, what could be the sponge cake? The customer, I think. Because finally, at the end of the day, what we are all doing every day is answering to the customer. I mean, the customer, the client is expressing a need or have a request, and at the end of the day, we are building something for him or her. So, the clients.
Then we need a bit of fruit.
The fruits. What could be the fruits? Okay, we are all doing different jobs. Some are working on the banking, some on the health. So we are, I think, building a strategy to pave this road to finally build that product. So it's the strategy.
And we need a bit fat layer of cream, no?
Oh, it was selling by Joey, the custard. Yeah, this big cream. It could be, I think, the DevOps. Or I can say even more, because yesterday we had the discussion regarding that, the platform engineer, you know, just that guy, that people that are here to be sure that everything is ready and able to be delivered in production. Okay, and I can say that even I consider them as enablement team. Okay, so those are the cream.
And we did more flavor in there?
Yeah, the flavor. The flavor, what could be the flavor? It could be me, it could be the software engineer. You know, those people that finally are implementing the solution, selecting the best technology, the best language, just to be sure that at the end of the day, we deliver the correct application with the best technologies. Okay.
And then, because fat is life, you need more cream.
Yeah, fat is definitely life. I think you see that I love that. And what could be the fat? Again, the DevOps engineer, the platform engineer, and the DevOps engineer, you know, those that are managing the cloud infrastructure or even the server on-premise. They are here just to be sure that on production, everything is stable. They are bridging production and software delivery. So yes, DevOps engineer.
Don't forget a little secret ingredient there.
The secret ingredient. Those that oftenly we forgot to mention. Those that are finally facing the client but are doing the difference. Those are the business operation. facing the client, and sometimes even SRE guy. They are here to be sure that production is stable, proactively detecting what's happening. So without them, nothing is the same. It could not be the same.
But this trifle needs a little bit more of consistency in there, no?
Yes, because at the end of the day, we start with the client and we have to finally deliver the product in production for the client. So it starts and ends with the client.
And what about the topping? So what makes the difference in this dessert, so the cherry on the cake?
The topic. The toppings. The topping could be the collaboration that make all the difference in this trifle. I think that when you look at a dessert, it's the appearance, it's the way it's shaping this dessert that make you know, the difference. It's the collaboration, but maybe you can highlight something about that.
We're going to be talking about collaboration later on in this presentation. But it's true that whatever you're a software engineer, if you're a platform engineer, if you're an SRE, or even in business operation, collaboration is key. You're not going to be able to have this wonderful trifle, so this organization probably smoothly working if you don't have the collaboration. So let's make a little bit a summary of what we have in this trifle. So as my dear colleague here was showing you. So we're going to have the first layer, so the customer, because everything starts with the customer. Then you're going to have the strategy based actually on the customer needs. And we're going to have the platform engineer paving the road actually for then the software engineer being able to deliver this application. Then again, this DevOps, making sure that everything runs smoothly into production. And then the SRE, the secret ingredient, well, we were talking about business operation as well, but the SRE, making sure that, well, everything, all the platforms, you have reliability, it's reliable, right? But then everything is done for the customer. So you don't forget the customer again. And obviously the collaboration at the top. But this dessert wouldn't be these desserts. This trifle wouldn't be trifle without the glass, actually. Because it's transparent and you can see what is inside. You can see all the layers. You can see that it's tasty, actually, and really flavorful. So what is actually the glass for the organization? I'll be talking about that a bit later. First, my name is Laetitia Aegerter. I'm an agile coach working with my dear colleague here. I'm not coming from the tech world at all. Actually, I'm coming from human resources. I've been working many years in this field, from recruitment, career development, training manager. But today, I really feel that I can leverage all this expertise in my role today by putting the human at the center. I do have two goals. First goal for me is to put this human-centric approach within the tech world. Second goal is for me to bring all these agile practices, all this agility outside of the tech world, because I'm really convinced that it's valuable for the full organization.
And my name is Edwige Fiaclou. I come from mathematics and computer science background. I navigate in several kinds of role and position, from IT ops to the software engineering. I also dig into mobile development and trading system application, but today what I'm doing is leading the Center of Excellence at Swissquote, meaning the tech talents and methodology teams. If I have to talk about me, I really love to put my creativity to foster collaboration between people. I'm sure that we can build extremely interesting application and innovative application if we all agree to be committed. But let's talk about the menu of today, because yes, we are really talking about food during all the talks, so be prepared. What's the menu? First, we're gonna demystify this enigmatic question about how to make the invisible visible. Yeah, I see some question mark in your mind around here. After, we're gonna talk about an interesting toolbox that we are using in my company today just to foster this efficiency between people. And at the end, because yesterday I think that this question was, you know, in this assembly, it's the human as the spice of success. So let's go with first, Rachel. How to make the invisible visible?
Well, it's thanks to the value stream. Before we were talking the glass for the trifle, well, the value stream is this glass for the organization. It makes you visible all the steps that you are taking within the organization to bring value to the customer. Like in a trifle, in our trifle, we start with the customer, we end with the customer. You can have different value streams at different levels. High level, product, business line, even operation. But what it matters is that start with the customer and end with the customer. If you make this visible for the full organization, then it's transparent for everybody, and you're going to see where are the issues, where are the impediments, so you can then find solutions, take actions to make this flow more smoothly. You can optimize the flow. And obviously, you can see opportunities to automatize. Well, when we're talking about DevOps, we're talking about automatization now. So it's important to have this view on the full flow. Where is DevOps? A little bit everywhere at the end of the day. You're in the delivery, the IT operation, the support, the data management, and even the security. What it looks like today at Swissquote? Well, we are building right now and shaping our organization V4. Not really a sexy name, but I couldn't fight against the name.
Yes, but please, let me interrupt you. Do you remember what did Bill Gates with Windows Vista? Or even before? Yes, it was a nightmare. So I think it's maybe preferable just to keep the number in place, 7, 8, 10. It's always working,
Well, as I said, I'm going to fight. Hopefully we don't get to V10. I don't know the organization, but who knows? Well,
who knows?
It's the beginning. As you can see, we haven't shaped everything. When I say we, it's not just us, obviously. We're working with a work group within the organization with software engineers, team leads, product owners, program manager in this work group to shape what will be our organization of tomorrow, to have this full view of the value stream. And what we are trying to do with the methodology team and the Center of Excellence is bring more agility. I'm not talking about, okay, so the software engineer needs to work twice faster. I'm just talking about how do you split your product, you conceive your product in a way that you are delivering faster and sooner to the clients. So how you cut actually, so more focusing on the solution conception to make all this chunk available for the client sooner. We are all working in organizations that are facing fierce competition today, so time to market is key. If we dig a little bit more into the implementation, I'm not going to go much in details, but it's just to show you that we are bringing more visibility, more transparency on all the steps that need to be taken. But we are not dictating how people need to work, meaning that it's up to them to decide which methodology they're going to be using, which techniques they want to use, because each context is different. Each team is different. In our banking sector, well, you know how it is regulated if you work in the finance sector, or even if you work in the medical environment, it's highly regulated. But it's not going to be the same for a team working in Forex, working in cryptocurrency, working in banking. So they need to select what they need based on their context.
Mm-hmm. And basically, why the DevOps is everywhere, finally, it's because even we are using some tools to help even our trading. I remember when I was managing the trading system, we built a Grafana board for trader. The trader was using that dashboard every day just to see the volume, the load in every broker. It was really useful. So I think that when we produce something as a DevOps engineer, we are producing it for everyone in the company and the organization. So, but this leads me to something interesting. Finally, how can we improve the DevOps performance in two separated worlds? This is a big question. I would say, and ask to you, please make the invisible visible, use the value stream concepts. This is a really powerful concept that you can use just to be sure that at the end of the day, everyone in the company knows what's happening everywhere. Why? First, it's because, tu peux cliquer? It's focused on the customer. So everyone is focused on the fact that we are all working on the customer, okay? The second is about the flow transparency. We talk about the fact that, yes, at some point you have this visibility of the flow. Everyone can know what the other is doing. And after, the third part is about the process optimization. You remember Laetitia showed you this value stream, this value stream mapping concept. Thank you. Sur le badge. J'aurai 2 minutes de plus.
Oui, je vais te les attribuer.
Merci beaucoup. So I was where? Okay. The flow transparency, why? Just because finally what we want is to have this visibility on the whole workflow. It means that you want to be able to see what your neighbor, what your stakeholder are doing, and it helps you finally to also optimize the flow as engineer, just to reduce the waste and be sure that you're, yes, building a good organization. And the last part is about the focus on delivery. So when you see this full value stream, you will see that everyone is converging on the same goal. And the goal is focusing on this delivery for your customers that is finally at the center.
So we talked about this value stream, so these different layers within the trifold. How do you do to actually pick up the right ingredients to make sure that you put it at the right moment in there? Well, isn't it about agility?
I would say that maybe Rachel would better manage this trifold if she would be more agile. And I think that we need to have the cube today.
Where is the
because we
cube
have
there?
the question.
Well, maybe the person that asked the cube can already answer the question. So which methodology are you using today within your
You
organization?
have the cube? Yes. Yesterday, I think the ICRC was using what? Safe. Safe. Yes.
Yes.
You're using
Safe?
safe too?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe throw it to someone
Yes,
else.
maybe some other people are
To
using
anybody,
other
to
kind
anybody, go for it.
of methodologies or framework. No? No framework?
Attention.
Thank you. I think
Don't
you're
think
not
so.
yet. Wake up.
Why me? Yes, okay. We use Scrum. Well,
Scrum?
Kind of.
Yeah,
Kind of.
okay, okay.
Is there a kind of Scrum ban or something like this?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, someone else maybe? Oi.
Oh my God.
I think we don't use any methodology.
Even
Okay.
not extreme programming, or I don't know. That's no
No
nothing.
methodology?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe we need to introduce something.
Okay, so, no, go for it. Which?
A mix of Scrum, Kanban, XP.
Okay,
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, at Swissquote, what we wanted is actually to provide a toolbox where people could actually pick up what they need, right? Based on the context, what we were talking before, the context-sensitive part. And what we choose is actually Discipline Agile. I don't know if you heard about it. Discipline Agile, it's a framework, an hybrid framework, actually providing hundreds of agile practices in there. You can even find some stuff from Waterfall, to be honest, in there as well, depending on the context again. So you're going to have practices coming from SAFe, from extreme programming, from Scrum, well, from many different methodologies and framework. And then on the other side, so you do have this freedom on one side, and the other side, you do have some guidance, okay? Some entry point to go into this toolbox and to see, okay, what will be good for me, depending on your field and where you're working, if you're a software engineer, or even we'll see in the product strategy, you can get into this toolbox and you do have some entry points that are kind of decision points, questions that you have to ask yourself. Say, okay, what I'm going to be using to, for example, prioritize my requests coming from the business, okay? So who is familiar, who's already heard about, who have already heard about Discipline Agile here?
Good.
A few.
Good. But
Okay.
for those maybe that don't know, maybe I can just highlight some other point, is that this hybrid framework is available at scale, meaning that whatever your business concern, you're on the legal department or on IT operations, security, or data management, you can find some practices, some techniques, some methodologies that can help you to improve, to finally deliver the best and improve the way you are working with your team. So all of that is possible because you keep this mindset. You have an alignment between all those methodologies. You have the principles that you can share with all members of the organization. It's not talking not only you as a DevOps or as a software engineer. It's about having the full company following you on the same principle, okay? So, for example, we did the exercise to pick up on the DA browser, that is a tool that comes with Discipline Agile, on which you can select your methodologies. And we see that, for example, to mitigate the risk, you can find some practices on it just to help you improving the way you're managing the risk in your team and organization.
So, At the end of the day, so how you reconcile the speed of delivery, the security of application, and the data management strategy by using and pick up the right ingredient, the right tools within a toolbox, at least for us. And what is going to be bringing is this alignment, as Edwige was talking about. So making sure, okay, do we know what we are using? Is it clear for everybody, depending on your context? And actually, you choose it and you pick up intentionally. So it's tactical. Okay, which methodology, which practice I'm going to be using actually to be performant, to be a high-performing team, for example, right? And the end is that it's providing this guidance. As I said, so you have this freedom to pick up whatever you want, but still, you have to ask yourself, what do I need? And all these entry points and all these process blades that Edwige was talking about, it's a way to dig into this toolbox.
So, but now I think that we have to talk about Phoebe. Phoebe, that is a quite interesting human, honestly, because she's spicy. She has this personality completely different than the others. So let's talk about the human, the spice of success.
Within Discipline Agile, you do have these 3 pillars. So we've talked about the process with the value stream. We've talked about the content with the toolbox. Now let's talk about the 3rd pillar, the feeling. Okay? The human aspect. Okay? So as I said before, I'm coming from human resources back then, I would say, and I'd like to put the human at the center. And when we talk about the feeling, what it is, it's about how people collaborate, how people actually interact, how they challenge each other, how they do to be a performing team, actually. Well, one key element is the trust. You need to have trust within your teams if you want to be able to perform. Because if you don't have trust, people will not get into disagreements, they're not going into conflict, let's say high debate, or hot debate, if I can say. But if you don't get into this discussion, then you don't commit to the decision because you didn't give your stake, you didn't give your opinion about a topic, so then you're not going to commit to that, which leads to a lack of accountability, right? So people will not feel accountable for the decisions that are taken. And not only you're not feeling accountable, but you're not going to call actually your colleagues to be accountable. You're not going to go to your colleague and say, hey, you may be late, or I think you made a mistake. Because there is no trust, and which is going to lead to this inattention to results. So all team members focusing on their success and not on the success of the team or the organization. So really, trust is key, and it's at the base. And how do you do actually to foster this trust to make sure that people are trusting? Well, it's by having this psychological safety, by ensuring a safety place. What does it mean? Where it's a place where people can speak up, where they can be free to learn, they can be free to challenge each other and to debate, as I was saying. What we're doing today with the methodology team and within the Center of Excellence is to focusing on this part as well. Well, because first of all, we are delivering some training on Discipline Agile, and as it's one of the pillars, obviously we're going to be training so the team members and the team leaders on this topic. Then as well, when we are supporting the teams in their agility journey, we're going to be as well focusing on this point, on this feeling part, meaning that when we are participating to some retrospective, we're going to be checking how people interact, how people they behave, how people they feel, and then coaching team members and team leads to actually foster this psychological safety. Before I was talking as well about the work group for the value stream, well, it's exactly what we're doing within the work group. So we have this mixity with different profile, and we ensure that people really can speak up freely. So to have this free thinking environment. And it's really the key then for the collaboration. When we were talking about this trifle and for the topping, if you don't have this psychological safety, then your trifle will fall apart, actually.
It's finally really that. So what about DevOps? Are we allowed to fail? This is the big question. And with that, with this psychological safety, I can say that yes. Yes, fail fast, but learn fast. This is the motto that you should finally adopt in your mind. Why? Because finally, when you fail, at least you learn something. And you should continue, persist to learn, because it's in that way that you will continuously improve in your path and in your way of working with others. After, it's using this coaching method, we are adopting it, and we put that in place with the methodology team by coaching people, just to invest in people and making sure that they are, proud to come at work, they feel safe, and this is the most important aspect, I think. And at the end, it's support, but with guidance. I think that you all know, because we are software engineers, we need to have some pattern. We need to follow some rules at some point. And having guidance, it's a way finally to be more free in our road to go at a certain point. So just to conclude this long talk, today we share about the first aspect, that is making the invisible visible. Use the value stream concept. It's a really powerful concept that can help you to just have this full big picture of your organization. Not only you, but you interacting with the other. The second is you have a powerful toolbox, okay, that will make you more efficient in your daily, but even more efficient in your interaction with the other. And the last part is count on yourself. Dig in your personality. Yesterday, Aurélie was talking about that. Just be yourself. It's exactly that. Because the diversity will bring the success. I think that we finally end.
We're at the end.
But no!
Just
we
one
have
thing before.
a surprise. Please. Can you just scan this Menti? C'est toi qui fais les... C'est bon. Tu peux faire le...
C'est bon? All there?
Because we love feedback, in fact.
Good? Yeah, seems okay.
Someone didn't manage to scan the QR code? Raise the hand. No.
It's okay?
OK, you can go.
No.
Là. Ouais, c'est pour ça que je te dis, à mon avis, c'est là-bas que ça se pilote. Attends, si je fais comme ça. Si je fais comme ça, regarde. Tac. Attends, je vais faire comme ça. Hop, et je vais faire ça. All good.
Thank you. Okay, so what the presentation was clear for you, and then, well, would it be interesting to have a look in this DA toolbox, actually?
Ouch. Well, this is not bad. I really hope that you learned something new today.
Okay, well, at least we were clear.
At least,
Then
yes.
maybe, well,
Thank
the
you.
toolbox
Because
was
I was
not-
super stressed, to be honest.
Okay, and what...
The question for?
Huh?
Now we have 94,
more.
95. Oh, you're a lot today. It's early.
Okay,
Okay, so let's go.
and because we're still in the food, so the roti.
Yeah, the
actually.
roti. You know the roti. Return on time,
time,
invested.
that's
We are
it.
not talking about food, in fact. Huh?
Hopefully you didn't waste your time this morning, and you were happy to get up and come up here quite early to have a look. Okay.
On est à combien? 80? 90? 2. I think that's okay.
Come on, 4? No one wants to put it to the 4.
Yeah, it's okay. 94.
Almost. No,
No,
well,
but you don't yet. This is okay. It's important
it's
to have
good, it's
the
good.
feedback.
yes.
Honestly, it's 9. It was less than it was 9:30 for me. It's not the time to talk.
Still not. Okay, well.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
so
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.